ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread thy name far and wide. Om. Welcome to the scripture class. And today our scripture is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The nectar of the words of God that we all find. The chapter that we are continuing is entitled Advice to an Actor. It was recorded on May 24, 1884. The next day of Shodashi Puja or Falaharini Kali Puja. The previous night was Falaharini Kali Puja. There was a theater on Falaharini Kali Puja night. Sri Ramakrishna has then seen that theater or jatra as it is called. It was performed in the Nath Mandir or the prayer hall of Kali temple, of Dakshineshwar Kali temple. Sri Ramakrishna in the early morning, he had seen that. Towards the end of the night, he had seen that. And he liked the acting of the Vidya done by an actor. And he was very impressed with the good samskaras of that actor who performed the role of Vidya. The drama or theater was Vidya Sundar. A love story of the devotees of Mother Kali, the boy and girl, princess and prince. Both were the devotees of Mother Kali, especially the prince, the Sundar, who prayed to Divine Mother for getting Vidya. And the Vidya was played by the actor that had come, and is very spiritually oriented and has question to Sri Ramakrishna about spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna also liked his acting and liked the theater also because music, rhythm, song, acting, everything was good, he said. He was very connoisseur, Sri Ramakrishna, of not only of music but also of acting, how one performs, how much mind one has put in the work, that he could observe very minutely, and he was very pleased with the performance of the actors and whole theater of Vidya Sundar. So now page 428, middle of the page, Sri Ramakrishna said on the earlier debate, come here now and then, pointing to M and others. They come here on Sundays and other holidays. So that time on Sundays, people used to come, as we gather here on Fridays for the scripture class, on Sunday for the Sunday service. Other days, everyone is busy. Like that is the life in the city. So M and others used to come on Sundays. Sri Ramakrishna says, asked him to come again. Here, he always said. Actually, this come again said by Sri Ramakrishna is to be so much a pull that Yam, when he came first time on 26th February 1882 sometimes, and then Sri Ramakrishna was going ask the question and all that. Sri Ramakrishna heard him saying, live in the world like a maidservant in this person's house, and he felt such a wonderful peace and spiritual vibrance there, spiritual vibration that he felt. It is like the kirtan of Nagar Kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Shukadeva explaining Bhagavatam. That type of spiritually he felt he could compare with that. And when towards the end, when he was leaving, he said, come again. And next day, Yam feels so much of attraction to come to Sri Ramakrishna and said, I wish to go. And he has also said, come again. This come again, when said by such a spiritual person, it becomes a great pull. So Sri Ramakrishna also says, encourages that actor to come again to Sri Ramakrishna so that his spirituality is kindled. Always he said to people to be more in touch with holy person, to Sri Ramakrishna himself, so that their spiritually is enkindled. He had said this to Vidyasagar also. Sri Ramakrishna went to Vidyasagar and met him. There was a wonderful talk. Vidyasagar was very pleased. He came all the way down to see Sri Ramakrishna off at night. And Sri Ramakrishna asked him, "Will you come to Dakshineswar?" He said, "Yes, sir, I'll go to Dakshineswar." But he couldn't come. Sri Ramakrishna actually said later on he didn't come. He said he will come, but he didn't come. That won't happen in his own life. If he would give word, he will keep it. So Vidyasagar could not keep the word that, and Sri Ramakrishna, more than that, Vidyasagar could not keep the word. More than that, he wanted Vidyasagar to spiritually to ignite his spiritual candle, spiritual lamp. And Sri Ramakrishna saw that because of his unselfish action, Vidyasagar's mind had become very pure. So, but it was not directed towards spirituality. Mind has become pure, ready to grasp a spiritual instruction, get ready to get the joy of spirituality. But that barrier was there. He was not really exposed to spiritual teachings or holy company. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to ignite that. He was very eager. That's why he had asked him to go. It was not for himself, Sri Ramakrishna himself at all, but for the sake of Vidyasagar. But Vidyasagar could not go. That Sri Ramakrishna felt that if he had come, he would have come. His life would have been blessed in that way. But Vidyasagar's life was really great because of his selfless action throughout his life and very helpful attitude for everything. He spent all his money that he earned for the sake of the needy people. That was Vidyasagar, and very simple, egoless life. Sometimes there is a story that one person goes to Vidyasagar station in Jharkhand. There is a station called Vidyasagar near Asansol in West Bengal. Vidyasagar. It used to be called Karmatar in the earlier time. So Vidyasagar came because Vidyasagar used to stay. He had a house there, house for change. He used to go during summertime. He used to go there and stay a few months there. So Karmatar was his original name. The station is named after Vidyasagar. The name of the station now is called Vidyasagar. So story is somebody heard of Vidyasagar a lot. He had not seen him and wanted to visit Vidyasagar. So he went to the station, and that day Vidyasagar had come to see off someone. So the person got down. There were very small village station. So that person had few luggage. He wanted some coolie. There was no coolie available. So Vidyasagar was so simple dress. So that person thought he is a porter, and he said, "Can you carry this bag to village house?" He said, "What bag?" So he came and just took the bag on his head. Vidyasagar. So the man, so much respected, so much famous all over India. That person, he carried bag of this gentleman who had come to meet Vidyasagar and took that bag to his house. To his surprise, that was Vidyasagar. So, like that, so simple was Vidyasagar, so egoless. And all his life was dedicated to serve others. He had somehow had no faith in God. Somehow his faith in God was broken by people when he saw people suffering, and then his question was, "Where is God, the all compassionate? Why doesn't he protect the suffering people? If God is there, he should protect the suffering of the people, pain of the people." So, like that, some of us have the idea of God that is all kind and all merciful, and nothing else should happen in the world. As if because there is God, there should be no death, disease, old age. All should be just youthful and happy. Like that thing, they don't want to accept the nature of the world, of nature of this creation, and put God to blame when something changes. They have seen that people have been born, then they suffer and they die. But in their case, if something happens, or in front of their eyes something happens, they say, "Where is God? Where is the mercy of God? If God is there, there will be mercy. He should be very merciful." Only mercy is not the God. God runs this universe with all its different nature. Sri Ramakrishna is so totally, he understands God. He says that God is kind, and sometimes I see God is very kind, loving, merciful. Sometimes he doesn't act that way. I don't understand how God works. Like Bhishma. Bhishma when in the Sarasaya, the bed of arrows, he was shedding tears. And Arjuna said, Bhishma is one of the Vasu's greatest person of knowledge, and still he is afraid of death now because death is approaching. He is crying because of pain and death, how it is. So Krishna said, go and ask. Why are you asking me? Go and ask. And both of them went, Krishna and Arjuna both went. And Arjuna asked, "Mm, why are you why are you sad and crying?" Then Bhishma says, Krishna, he doesn't reply to Arjuna, he says to Krishna, Krishna, you know why I am sad and tears are flowing from my eyes. It's not for my pain or my death, approaching death. It is because with all association with holy, all knowledge of scriptures, all of my understanding about God, I could not understand anything of God. I thought God to be all happy. Whoever has taken refuge in God will have no problem in life. But I see this Pandavas, these Arjunas and his brothers and his family, mother, all have taken refuge in you. Bhishma was one who knew Sri Krishna is God himself. He's not human being. So not many knew. So Bhishma knew. He said, "You, God Himself lives with them, but there is no end to the suffering of Bhishma, the Pandavas. Always, from one after another, they are suffering. Whole their life is life of suffering. That's why I couldn't understand anything of God's word." Sri Ramakrishna also says, God's work cannot be understood. He is self willed. If you want to judge God's action with our human action, then you will be miserable. Don't try to justify God's action. And Swami Vivekananda is the one who says, what is God? God is not always doing only good. Good, whatever comes in your life is done by God. If you think only God does good and no bad thing happens by God, you have understood only half of God. Your devotion has to reach to such level that whatever happens is happened by the will of God. So accept good things and also bad things that happen in life as the gift of God. When you can accept that, then you have fully understood God, and that's why the God as Krishna is all seems to be all kind, loving. You see, one all delight and all that. But God as divine Mother Kali. So there Sri Ram Swami Vivekananda comes. Mother Kali gives all sorts of trouble. Kali the mother, there is one poem, beautiful poem by Swami Vivekananda. Mother comes as the whirlwind, as the storm of 150 kilometers per hour, uprooting the trees, removing the houses, grazing the houses to ground, and death all around. And all this is divine mother, Mother Kali. One who can see Mother Kali's hand, even in the destruction of God's hand, only he can hug Mother. Mother will come to in the heart of that person who sees divine in everything that happens in the world. So you know that whatever happens, happens by the will of God. What we say bad, what we say good is temporary according to our desires. But creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. God, who has created, will also destroy. So, without destruction, how will be there creation again? The cycle has to go. So, that's why Swami Vivekananda, you have to take God in totality, you have to accept all the things, good and bad. So, here, Bhishma, he says, I can't understand. I thought everything who has taken refuge in God will be all happy, good, easy, comfortable. I see it doesn't happen. So his idea about God didn't tally. That's why he said, after all my life from birth to now, death has come, but I couldn't understand anything of God's action, he says. So like that is God's action. So, but Vidyasagar was always thinking God is all merciful, all kind, all great, joyful, and all that. But there is only one facet of God. Other facet is everything. Sri Ramakrishna says, I also cannot understand God's action. I think sometimes He's good and sometimes He's bad. Means bad action also from Him. So take God in totality. That's what Sri Ramakrishna wish was there, that he comes and his spirituality will be mature. So here actor also, he says, come, people come here, because actor might think that a simple person looking. So he said to him, who is the headmaster of his school, and other people. People often try to imitate. If they say, oh, rich person, wise person, learned person are going, oh, it's a worth place, worth going. When people go, a lot of people go to Tirupati temple, the ministers and great persons and actors going and offering. Common person also go, let me also go and offer something. If they offer 1 crore rupees, they will offer at least 1,000 rupees, some difficulty. Like that, the thing goes. Just why? Because rich person, famous person go, that's why it must be something. Siddhi Vinayak in Mumbai. All this, so much crowd, small temple of Ganesha. It's not only that Ganesha fulfills your wish. God sometimes fulfills wish, sometimes doesn't fulfill. But because all famous person go there, there is so much crowd. And say Siddhi Vinayak. Siddhi Vinayak is Siddha because of all people are pulled there. So that is also people say. That's Sri Ramakrishna says psychological to that person. You see, they come here on Saturdays and Sundays. His acts means nothing. He just wants to help this actor who is spiritually inclined, with samskaras are good. Let us go further. Actor says, we have holidays for 3 months during the rainy and harvest seasons. It is our good fortune to be able to visit you. On our way to Dakshineswar, we heard of two persons, yourself and Gyanarnava. I don't know who is Gyanarnava. There must be some other person, some learned person. The very name says Arnava means ocean, Jnana means knowledge, ocean of knowledge. Must be some very erudite person, but Sri Ramakrishna, very spiritual person. So he had heard of that. You see, unless he had some inclination, why would he be interested in someone who is full of knowledge and full of spirituality? He was interested. So he said that, Master. Now Sri Ramakrishna wants to give some instruction to this actor. Be on friendly terms with your brothers. It looks well. You must have noticed in your theatrical performance that if four singers sing each in a different way, the play is spoiled. Hmm? So many cooks spoil the broth. So that is what different ways they go. Otherwise, cooks help together in a restaurant, hotel, or when there are so many cooks, but they do the thing. If one cook has one opinion and other cook has different opinion, the thing will be bad. So like that, many cooks, if they go on different ways, then the thing will be spoiled. Sri Ramakrishna says, be on good term with your brothers. Be on friendly term with your brothers. Here, brother means maybe his own brothers, siblings, maybe the person who act together in the theater. So be on friendly terms with them. If you are not in friendly terms, whole theater will be bad. The performance will not be perfect. Brothers doesn't mean only our siblings. Siblings we generally have good terms. Sometimes we do not have because of selfish thing comes. So what is the term? When is our relation with our siblings get destroyed? If money matter comes. This money matter is most spoiling thing. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam, said Shankaracharya, who didn't have anything to do with money, but he knew everything of samsara, relationship, everything he knew. In this young age, artham anartham bhav, artha, money is anartha, it all creates problem. The brother and sister and brothers all together, they grew up born of same mother and all growing together, but somehow this money matters come. Oh, I'll have to share with my sister, I'll have to share with my brother if I could go get more. And sometimes what happens, some other persons give them some suggestion. You see, you need most of the money, why should it be divided together? You are already married, you have 4 children, and your brother is single, he's not married, and he's not going to marry. He has said, why the property should be equally divided? It should be 4 parts yours and 1 part his. So yes, that seems to be, mantras are there in every age. You see, it was not only Bharat and Kaikeyi mantra. Mantras are there. If we have Kaikeyi like person who have very thin hair, patla kaan, we say in Bengali, thin hair, I mean, literally translating, who just are very weak to hear whatever some give suggestion, and they just gallop it, they just gulp it. So then this difficulty. So then what happens? Then he proposes, it should be, I should get more because I have 4 children. You have no one. So why should we be equally divided? Then the friction comes. So like that, this all about property, wealth. That is all the problem of our life relationship. And also, this brother means not only our siblings, our colleagues are also brothers. We must try to keep good relation with them. Sometimes what happens is not all are equal. May not be all are friendly with us. Some may be a little different, but accept the difference. That's how the whole creation, whole situation, whole society is. There will be people of different varieties, and that is the beauty of community. People of different minds. Some are very friendly, some are not so friendly. Some are selfish, some are very kind. But that's how the society is made. That's how the world creation is made. So adjust with all those. That's why it's an adjustment is the fifth yoga to live. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga. With all those four, these four only you cannot realize God. You have to have another yoga. It's called adjustment yoga. You adjust with the people around you. Then you can practice four yogas. Otherwise, you all be disturbed in your mind. When dhyana will come, only think of that person. I will see to that. Why he was complaining against me? So bad person is never born. I've never seen. All asuras, all avatara of Kumbhakarna, Ravana, Kamsa, all have come together in that colleague. Like that, you start thinking that way. So all thoughts about that, instead of meditating on God or Ishta, you all the time in God and said, I will see to that person. I go and talk morning to the boss. All you thought meditated on your colleague, which you do not like. You all meditated on the hatred. So we should be able to overcome such things and accept the people, different nature of the people. Also, brother also means if we are connected with some community or some temple or church. Brother also means the people who come to the temple. All are brothers and sisters, especially if they follow the same ideal. They are very close. Sri Ramakrishna said, my own nephew, I don't feel so close as I feel so close to you, he says to him. So when ideal is together, we become very close. Sometimes friendship becomes so close. For some people, it even excels your relations with your brother. They become very fast friends. Similarly, the one who follows same ideal, same ishta, same mantra, those should be treated as really as brothers and sisters. If we fail that, and if we have ill feeling towards any of our colleagues because of something, that something is still to grow in our spiritual life. Our mind is not yet ready. So be in good terms with all. It looks good. It only looks good. It feels good for you. It helps you in spiritual life. So and all this having bad thought about others is the result of our ego, which always says, I am good and you are not good. It's totally baseless thing, baseless imagination we often have. I am good and you are not good. I am this way good, that way good. I work so much. I work so much in the community in this church. I am the one who works, who cleans this, who do at the work. All they come, work there, kneel down and go eat something and go away. Who is working? Instead of taking the service as opportunity and privilege, we start complaining about what service I do. So sometimes I hear that. I said, just stop doing. If you feel that way, don't work. You don't have to work. Somehow Thakur's work will be done. Some, if you do not work, other will come and work. So that also doesn't please sometimes to us when you hear that way. What are you saying? You don't appreciate my work? I do so much in the community like that. Sometimes it happens because of that thing. So work is privilege. I know of a person who used to come for soup kitchen, and if there were many people, the first work he used to go quietly go to all the washrooms and clean all the washrooms, hmm, all the commodes and all that. Come and say nothing. Nobody knows that he does that. So that gentleman has passed away now. So that is the service, a joy in privilege in serving the community, doing the work which others neglect to do. Here also there are still we find our washrooms are clean, our toilets and basins are clean. People are there. That type of people are still there. They clean the things without saying anything. So this is the work, and this is the privilege we have to work for the community, for the church, for the temple. If we think that way, then you don't find find any defect or judge others. So that is very important. If you be very judgmental towards other, it is only you that suffer. So only complaint comes, oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, and this person is not good, that person is not good. Like that, you suffer by that. Always you are now complaint box. All the complaints, you are filled with all the complaint. And daily you pray, may we not accuse, demand, and complain, like food, nice food, and done, finish done. Still in the food also, maybe, oh, so this food is not good. I've not heard any complaint about the food. But complain about the people, often they do that, this happened, this didn't happen, like that. But just after praying, may we not accuse, demand, or complain, may we not find fault with others. And just we say, and after that, immediately there is finding fault finding. And who suffers? We suffer. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, it looks good. That includes, it feels good for you as well if we control your own thought about others, your own ill feeling about others. If we are not able to take the varieties of the people, it happens. You are not broad enough. Our Swami Swahananji will be always used to say, Swahananji, many gurus of many people, he used to say, be magnanimous. That is a famous word. Be broad-minded, be magnanimous. Accept others as they are. And that will give you a peace of your mind. So this magnanimity. And he says, it looks well. You must have noticed in your theater all should do together. Now actor also adds to that. Yes, sir, many birds are trapped in a net. If they all fly together and drag the net in one direction, then many of them may be saved. But that doesn't happen if they try to fly in different direction. It's from Aesop's fable, it's from Panchatantra, the story is there. Some birds got caught in the net, and there was one leader, and it took all the it flew with the net and went to a place, and there they had a friend. One mouse was their friend, and the mouse came and cut all the net, and they were free. Like that, he must have read that. So all working in harmony is so wonderful, working in harmony. Our Rigveda Samhita, the whole Rigveda, at the end, they didn't say, now you meditate on God, God is the ultimate, only that is the real thing, all else is just false and untrue. He didn't say that. Rigveda Samhita, at the last portion of Rigveda Samhita, it said, you all of one mind, one thought, one heart, one path, Sangatchadvam, Samvadam, speak in one way and walk on a one same line, have the same goal in life, not that tread the same path, means have the same goal. May your all heart be united, may your mind be united. Samani Vakuti, Samana Hridayaniva, Samanamastuvo Mano Yathava Susahasati. That way you progress, you be together, live harmoniously, be of one mind, be of one thought, one heart. That was the Rigveda taught, our ancient book of wisdom, on which our religion is based. Sanatana Dharma is based, Vedanta is based. That was the message of Rigveda Samhita at the end. So this is the message that we all should live in harmony, and overlook a little whatever you feel is that other person is not perfect. As you see imperfection in others, we are all imperfect. That's the famous saying. If you say you are bad, to pointing to someone, three fingers point to you. That means three times you are bad, worse than that person. That often happens. We don't know. And Jesus said, they look small. What do you call mote in the eyes of others, but in their own eyes there is a beam, big thing is there, but they are not aware of that. Big fault within themselves, little fault in others, then you see lot. In Bengali, we say that that needle was complaining to, no, not Chalni, what's it called? Sieve. Sieve was complaining to needle. Oh, you have a hole. And how many holes are in the sieve? All it is made of all holes. That is what we are. We are our sieve, and we complain of a hole in a needle, one hole. So be broad-minded, and like that he said, be of united. Let's see what more instructions Sri Ramakrishna gives to this actor. Sri Ramakrishna, different. The actor continues. One also sees in a theatrical performance a person keeping a pitcher of water on his head and at the same time dancing about. So he brought here, seeing all should be together and have a good relation, he brought a different example of balance in life. And he said, as in theatrical performance, there is a pitcher on the head, and still that person can dance with the pitcher, hands free, and if the pitcher doesn't fall. So, practicing balance in life, balancing with all people, balancing with our own life, that is very important. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, taking this from the example from the actor, he says, Master, live in the world, but keep the pitcher steady on your head. That is to say, keep the mind firmly on God. When you dance with pitcher on your head, where is your thought? On the pitcher itself, it should not fall. Sometimes I do, you have seen, I do meditate. Puja, it is a part of puja. You have to put on flower on your head and then you meditate. It's called Manasa Puja. Sometimes I didn't see where is put maybe side and I always doing the Manasa trying to do, but I'm a little scared that it may fall. It fall doesn't happen anything on the picture, it doesn't break. Flower falling from the head doesn't break. But because it's a rule, sometimes I have to think, oh, it's like it's falling, what happened? Because you generally shaved head and flower, if it is heavy flower, then the slippery, and then it slips down. If it is not head, is not flat, it is oval. So danger of falling. So like that danger of falling, that's why it thinks of pitcher always. And there are Sri Ramakrishna said there are in Rajasthan area. If you see there are 7, 5, 6 pitchers on the head, one after another, and that person walks, lady walks nicely, all filled with water. And so much of practice they have done. So this practice of balancing, Sri Ramakrishna says, and put the mind on pitcher. The mind on pitcher means pitcher is God. Put mind on pitcher, put mind in God, and every balance will be done in life. If we are God centered, where is fault finding with others? You're thinking of God. God is perfect. Your mind is always in perfection. Little imperfection in other, it doesn't come to you at all. It cannot enter into you. You are already immune to see the imperfection in the world because you are always with the perfection of God. So one should be always in the thought of God. That feature at the head is God, says Sri Ramakrishna. So to say keep the mind firmly on God. I once said to the sepoys from the barracks, do your duty in the world, but remember that the pestle of death will sometimes smash your head. Be alert about it. Death is coming. Hmm? Death may come any moment. So don't think all will be like this. We all are growing old, situation changes. So death may come anytime. So when death comes, what you will be thinking, you should think of God. Otherwise, whatever you think, that you become. If you are thinking of money, 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 and death comes suddenly, then you'll be born a very greedy person. Then you will hate yourself so much greedy, and you may not hate at the life at the end. What did I get by always thinking of money? But because you thought of money, that's why it happened. So always think of God. I told once about a Swami who was very jolly, happy, very advanced Swami, spiritual. But whenever he was traveling by car, he used to be silent, complete quiet, doing nothing, very serious. And then Brahmachari was with him. He was very friendly with that Brahmachari. He loved that. And he said, Maharaj, what happens when you travel in car? Why you become so serious suddenly? You're always happy and jolly. The Swami said, I have heard that there are accidents happen and people die. Hmm? Then if death comes suddenly by accident, what I will be thinking, frivoling and all that, I don't want to do that. I want to think of God because death may come. So that is the most probable death may come. So I think of God. I do japam when I travel. That's why. This one story of a New York bus driver. There was one person, one priest was there, and priest died, and he went to Charlie Gate. And also that day, when New York bus driver was also there, which priest had got into that. He also died. He was also the Charlie Gate. So Saint Peter said to to the priest. He said, "You go for a few days. You have to no. For driver, he said, go to heaven. For priest, he said, no. You have to be still in purgatory for a few days. Then we'll decide what will happen." Then he complained, the priest complained, "I always talk about you, God, about Jesus, and this bus driver is so reckless, he never thinks of God. He's an atheist, you don't know. I know him very well. I travel in that bus. He's atheist, he doesn't believe in Jesus. And you sent him to, and you are not allowing me to go to heaven and asking me to wait for some time." Peter said, "But you know, it is not by what you do that is what is your, how much fruitful is your work. By that, your success in the work is judged here." So, when you were talking about God, so it was all about people who were sleeping. They were not thinking of Jesus, not remembering about any God, because you talk so boringly. So, all were aware of the thought of God. So, you didn't succeed in really promoting God to the people. But this bus driver was very reckless driving. Whenever he was driving, everybody was thinking of Jesus. "Lord Jesus, save me. Lord, anything, anytime accident might happen." So when he died, he has done so much good by making people think of God. So that's why he goes to heaven. His action was so fruitful. But your action, though you thought of God, but it didn't enter into the people. So like that thing, that the Swami always thinking about who knows what happens when during accident. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. Always be aware of vessel of God, vessel of death. Not God. Vessel of death may smash your head. Your head may be smashed by the vessel of death anytime. That is, death may come anytime. So, like that, think of God as much as possible. So, and when we think of God, or death coming to you, and I have to think of God, then fear of death goes away. First, we begin with death, thinking of death. Death may come anytime, and you start thinking of God. You don't think of, "Oh, I will die, I will die." So, God is there. So, you think of God, then fear of death goes away. Then you are always in the thought of joy of thinking about God. So that's how the thinking of death. Swami Vivekananda said to one person, "Always think of God." Then that person said, "Then how work will be done? If you think of God, death, then anytime I will die, then what is there will be no enthusiasm in working. So to become and work, how will there will be energy to work?" Swami Vivekananda said, for some time, for few days, it may be that way. After some time, it will come, so much energy will come that will full full attention to work without any fear, because you know that death may come. So perform the work as early and as better as possible. So that's how fear of death, Sri Ramakrishna also says, always think that vessel of death will sometime smash your hand. It's his hand, not head. Smash your hand. Be alert about it. So Sri Ramakrishna continues about the story. In Kamarpukur, I have seen the women of carpenter families making flattened rice with a husking machine. One woman kicks the end of the wooden beam, and other woman, while nursing her baby, turns the paddy in the mortar dug in this earth. The second woman is always alert lest the pestle of the machine should fall on her hand. With the other hand, she fries the soaked paddy in a pan. Besides, she is talking with the customers. She says, "You owe us so much money. Please pay it before you go." Likewise, do your different duties in the world, fixing your mind on God. But practice is necessary, and one should also be alert. Only in this way can one safeguard both God and the world. That is spirituality. Practical spirituality is balancing our mind in God and doing work for the world. And the story of is the he called Dheki in Bengali. The rural Bengal, it is to be there. A beam of wood was to be there, and it was with the hinge. It was put on a fulcrum, and one side the fulcrum was at the middle, fulcrum on one side, and you push on one side. There is a hollow. Push it, then the other end rises. At the other end, there is one pestle is added at the below bottom of the fulcrum. So when you remove the pressure from your leg, it falls the other end falls, and the pestle that is at the end of that head on the other end of the beam, it falls on a mortar, and mortar is there, whereas paddy is there. So paddy crushes the mortar, crushes the paddy, husk of the paddy, and flattened rice is made. It crushes the paddy. Flattened rice is made. It's called dheki. So this dheki, and Sri Ramakrishna, there are two persons needed. One will press the husk at one end, it will go up and remove the pressure, go down. Again press, again like that it will happen, and the mortar will pace in the same pace on the pestle will drop with the same pace on the mortar. And on the mortar, it is nothing. But what is the importance is the one he has to roll over the paddy that is in the mortar. All paddy grains has to be pressed. Otherwise, only at the top will be pressed. So the one person has to do with the hand, he has to roll over, turn over this paddy. So that lady who turns over is always alert that pestle should not fall. If it falls on her hand will be crushed, bones will be broken. It is so risky. But she is always alert that it just removes in time. The pestle falls. Then when it goes up and before it comes down, she returns over the paddy in that. Then she removes the paddy that is already crushed, puts other paddy. Not only that, she is alert when it falls and turns only in that time. She is so expert. Her mind putting in the pestles falling is so practiced. She has been so alert that she has a baby and she feeds the baby. And also she fries the soaked paddy in the pan during that time, fries pan and puts there like that. Have you seen when I do homa? Hmm? Om Mai Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Swaha. And in the meantime, where is Billa leaves is broken, how many are gone, and then firewood, the fire is already finishing. If this firewood is not burning, and then I put the ghee, then you put the ghee, and then mantra is going on because it has to go with all people. I cannot stop, then it will. Om Mai Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Swaha. Put this fire. Like that, many things, multitasking has to be done. So that lady is so alert. In my thing, there is no risk. If you don't put in the right time, you stop, and again, the next time it happens, people will chant on one empty chant will go. That will not be bad. Adhikantu na doshaya, they say. If we chant instead of 28 times, if we chant 29 times, one empty chant will not make anything bad. You have to put 28 billow leaves. That is the main thing. That sankalpa is done. So if you chant for 29 times, there is nothing. So no danger of pestle falling in the hand. But that lady's pestle falling in the hand. Not only does she fries the pestle in the frying pan near her this thing and puts there. Not only that, she talks with the customer. And since the customer has come to get that flattened rice and says, you owe this much money, give that money before you go. She remembers all that. You see how much multitasking is done by this lady, second lady who is turning that. And that's what is called alertness, and always thinking that the pestle should not fall. One thought that she has to save her hand from being crushed by the pestle of that what's called dheki. So that's how Sri Ramakrishna gives this beautiful example of a spiritual seeker should be alert that his mind is not diverted to worldliness and focused on God. Then only he can perform multitasking with putting your mind holding on to God. So he often says that, gives the example of someone was in the military, and he said that he was so devoted, he was in the military, and person was in the military and he was very devoted. So sometimes he had to take gun with one hand, and with another hand he was to Shiva Puja in that army duty also, but alert in that way. God is not left out. God is always in the mind, always came. So this is what is important. If we can bring God in our thought, then God will come automatically. We cannot see, we cannot think of God and still see evil in others. It will see fault in others. That will not happen. Whenever we see fault in others, means we are deviated from the thought of God. So that is the thing that we have to think. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Always think of God, then you will not find a defect with others. You will be able to adjust with the people. You will be able to, not all are same. But God is equally present in everyone, and all should be different. All, if all are of the same nature, same good, same unselfish, same qualities, no difference, then Swami Vivekananda says world will stop, creation will stop, we'll be like mummies. So difference in mental thoughts will be there, difference in ideas will be there, difference in capacities will be there. That makes the beauty of the community, and yet all are accepted. That's why this community is made so wonderful, because of the variation, like a wonderful garden of many different kinds of flowers. Actor: Sir, what is the proof that the soul is separate from the body? That is the thing. So when one always thinks of body as the soul, what is the proof that there is a soul that remains alive even after the body dies? What is the proof that there is soul, which is the real person, which is separate from the body, and I am that? He also wants to ask that about the nature, ask question about the soul. Master: Proof? God can be seen. By practicing spiritual discipline, one sees God through His grace. The rishis directly realize the self. One cannot know the truth about God through science. Science gives us information only about things perceived by the senses. As for instance, this material mixed with that material gives such and such a result, and that material mixed with this material gives such and such a result. You see, Sri Ramakrishna, at that time the science was growing. Sri Ramakrishna Advent was in such a modern time that similar like ours. Science, and there was already an idea that nature, Darwin's theory had already come, Marx theory had already come about the religion is the opium of masses. Already those ideas had come when Sri Ramakrishna came to rebuff all those ideas. Sri Ramakrishna spirituality, that what they say is the right thing, and Freudian ideas had already was already there. Freud, Marx, and the science, all smashing the faith in religion, faith in God, already started in 19th century. And Sri Ramakrishna says God is not something of material that can be found with your nature. The science only deals with nature. And he says about the chemistry, mixed with these two liquids, and third liquid, third chemical will be produced. So science is religion is not that. It is the perception of very subtle things, spirit. And what is the proof of that exists? People have seen. Those who have seen, they talk about that. Rishis have seen. And that's why his answer to Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath, was so valid. Sir, have you seen God? So this was the question. Narendranath was in the 19th century. He was very spiritual by nature. He was born of very wonderful samskaras, incarnation of Shiva himself. But he took the role of a doubting person, because that he had to deal with later on. People have so many doubts. Like Kidi in Chennai, and so here also so many people with doubt on the spiritual nature of our real nature as spirit and all those things. So himself was very doubtful. To find the answer, that's why he proposed doubt. He always prayed even during his very difficult times. Prayer was there. He had very inborn faith in God, but he wanted to see someone that has really seen God, that it becomes a proof to him. It is not that he had doubt in the existence of God. That's why he said, Sir, is there God? He doesn't say that. That God is there, that he believes. But he wants to see something. God is there, no doubt. But is there anyone who has really seen God? Can God be seen? That was his question. That's why he says to Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, have you seen God? And Sri Ramakrishna says, Yes, I see God. And also, I can show God to you. Very few teachers will be there. And Sri Ramakrishna will not say this to every student. He can so say this to Naren, because first sight he understands who Naren is. He is Nararupi Narayana. In the Narayana in the form of Nara. So he knows I can show you God. I can prepare you so that you can see God. And he says God can be seen. That is the proof. What can be better proof? Rishis have seen. He doesn't say I have seen to this actor, but he says rishis have seen, and he says people People can see God by His grace. A grace is needed, but the grace comes with the effort. Your own effort added with the grace of God. When the effort is sincere, grace of God is always there. That theory of Sri Ramakrishna is beautiful. That grace of God is blowing like the air, and you want to cross the river by unfurling the sail. So you have to unfurl the sail, and it will crash the bridge. Otherwise, you say, "Oh, my boat is not going across." You have done not little effort. You have not put. Then how it will catch the grace of God? Bridge of the grace of God. So you have to put the effort, and the grace that is always there will be effective. So grace has to be caught. Grace has to be utilized. Otherwise, it will remain unutilized. That is the effort. You put effort, grace is there by the grace of God. You can see God, you can talk with God, and God can be seen. What can be better proof than that? Sri Ramakrishna is the best person who can say, God is real, God is seeable, God is perceivable, God, you can talk with God. Sri Ramakrishna talking with God was a great thing. It's not just a vision that you have, something you saw, like you saw a ghost. Sometimes people can see ghosts. But very few people talk with the ghost. Only Raja Maharaj used to talk with the ghost. Sometimes he used to come there and he said, make another smoke to his sevak. And he came there, and two person was Radha Maharaj Sevak went outside, and someone came. Nobody came, in fact, but someone came and he was talking with that person. The ghost came, he sat down, and he talked like that. Like Totapuri. Totapuri also saw a ghost in the Panchamati. And when ghost came, he said, sit down, let us meditate on God, to the ghost. No fear. But talking with the ghost, talking with God is very rare that God talks. Only we hear in Dhruva's case. Dhruva, when he had the vision of Vishnu, he said to Vishnu, it was very static. Vishnu was just standing. Then, but he had no doubt about that. He said, Vishnu, but why your rings are not moving? You see, so statue like you were standing. Then Vishnu spoke to Dhruva. Dhruva, the power to move my earrings is in you. You have the power to move my earrings. So, devotion will make God speak, will make move earrings, will make God move towards Him. And Sri Ramakrishna says, power of devotee is so great. First, the devotee runs after God. And when that devotion is mature, then God starts running after the devotee. How does God run after the devotee? Sri Ramakrishna says, like calf running behind its mother. Like that, God runs after the devotee. Then devotee cannot live without God, God cannot live without devotee. So that the relationship when matures, it happens that way. So God can be seen. What greater proof you want than that? For this reason, a man cannot comprehend spiritual things with his ordinary intelligence. To understand them, he must live in the company of holy persons. You learn to feel the pulse by living with a physician. So, earlier physician would all Vaidya, no? Physician is our Kaviraj, Vaidya. They used to treat all by learning the pulse, how it beats. They would find all the disease. That was the main thing to diagnose the disease of the person, pulse. So by living with the physician or Kaviraj, they will learn how to see the pulse. That doesn't happen with the surgeon. You may live with the surgeon all your life, but you don't know anything of surgery because you cannot practice that. But with Kabiraj, you have to be there. Sri Ramakrishna says that with holy person, if you live, then you understand how to love God, how to practice your spirituality. That things you have to do. Holy company is very important. That kindles faith in God, that kindles in you how you worship God, how important it is to be with God, and you realize God by living in the holy company. It's the beginning of your spiritual practice first step. If you do that, then other things will follow. Holy company, then you'll find, oh, that person does so much japam, he does 2 hours of japam, I should also do that. Inspiration comes like that. Holy company doesn't mean the company of only or any devotee who does the right thing. Any book that you read is also holy company. Any nice song that you can put your mind on is a holy company. Anything that kindles your holiness is the holy company. That is what Sri Ramakrishna always says to this actor. Have the holy company. What better holy company you will get? Come to Sri Ramakrishna. He's so welcoming. Come here again, he said. So with this, we close today's class. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Our next Friday class, Uddhava Gita, will be online only. I have to travel to what do you call Connecticut and to the Vedanta Society of Connecticut. So next Friday class will be online only, as well as next Sunday service will be not next Sunday service, sorry, next Friday class. Next Sunday service and the after tomorrow will be in person as well as online. Thank you. Good night to everyone.